lives on the line for this camp life. This camp life. This camp life. Yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, we prophesy 365 for this camp life. This camp life.
Boost lace, you know we came to ride. All on your block, don't care about the odds, this truth is do or die. Come crown the kings and watch how we bling. We here 365. While you and your dreams, we on the scene, saving our people's lives.
What a time to be alive when it's going down. I got both eyes on the same prize. If you're trying to build, then it's hammer time.
So in this sign, according to the Bible, you are the true children of God, right? What has happened with our so-called brothers from Gad has been taught and raised that and have been taught against the Bible. That's why a lot of Native Americans don't believe and don't trust in the Bible at all. A lot of time when we approach Native Americans, it's that's the white man's book, right? But the only thing is that they taught us, they preached us this Bible in a way that would get us to turn against each other, that would benefit them. What we don't understand as so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics is that we are the true Israelites of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, you got a couple minutes? Come on, let me talk to you for a couple minutes, bro. I'm gonna talk to both of y'all real quick. What we're teaching right now is Bible prophecy about who we are according to the Bible, right? I'm talking to Ezekiel right now. Ezekiel is saying that he's so-called Native American, right? What would you say your nationality is according to this chart right here? Huh? What would you say your nationality is according to this? If I said, hey bro, what are you? What would you say? What would you tell me? Say Judah, right? American black, right? What we're teaching Ezekiel right now is what? We're showing them that you are the true children of God. And why is that important? Because Christ is only coming back to save the children of Israel. He's not coming back to save everybody. So if you don't know who you are according to the Bible, and you are not keeping God's laws, the day Christ returns, you will not make it. That's Bible prophecy. That's what the Bible's saying. Give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 real quick. I want to show you. How did we say your name one more time? Rico. How did we get over here? How did our people get over here? According to history. Okay, we've been here. But how did the so-called African Americans get here? What I'm telling you is there is no difference between the so-called Native American and the so-called black man, right? The only difference is the time that that they were colonized and we went into slavery. True, we have been here. But the so-called black man, how did we get here? According to history, what you learned in school, Ezekiel, how did the so-called black man get here today? What did you learn in school?
I didn't go to school.
You didn't go to school? You don't know how we got here, bro? You don't know how we got here? Look, Rick. You don't know how we got here? Didn't we come here in slave ships? Right? Cargo slave ships, right? Look at this thing. Look. I want to show you. Because our people are we have to be visual, right? We got to be very visual. Right here, these slave ships, these cargo slave ships are what we were transported on. Right? Watch this. And what you see in the map is the route in which the so-called black man came here. We were dropped off in Brazil, dropped off in the Caribbean islands, right? Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So it said the Lord shall bring us into Egypt again with ships. How do we get here? On ships. Mind you, the Bible was written thousands of years ago. We came into slavery on slave ships in the 1600s, right? This is proven to you according to history, right? That the Bible is a true book. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to church, huh? You do? You go to church? Have you ever heard this in church before? You've heard about slave ships in church. Okay. If you heard about slave ships in church, how did they tell you what tribe you were from? No, right? Read it again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
When we were in Egypt under Pharaoh, we were slaves, right? We left Egypt with Moses, Aaron, and the rest of Israel, right? The Bible just said that we're going to come back into Egypt again with ships. We never physically touched the landmass of Egypt again on the ship. Right? What is this talking about is future prophecy. Talking about how we were going to come over here in the 1600s. This is what the Bible talking about right now. Right? Read.
By the way whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
And there we should be sold unto our enemies. When we got off of those slave ships, what happened? What happened? Do you know what happened to the blacks during slavery? You know what happened? This happened right here. They put irons on our necks. They sold our kids off into slavery on slave auctions. These are the things that they did. The Bible is telling us this. It says you shall be sold unto who? Unto who?
Unto thy enemies.
Who were we sold to? Who was doing the selling? What nation of people? What nation of people? Tell me. No, what nation of people are doing the selling? Look at him. Look at him. Who are they? The white man, right? So, and the Bible said what? They are what?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Only an enemy would take you, sell you, split up your family, use the children as alligator bait, hang them. This is in the Bible. Want to hear it? Listen. Give me verse 32. Yes, Rick, this is in the Bible, bro. All praises you took your hat off too. What I'm showing you is Bible. That's what I'm saying. If you go to church, bro, this is stuff that you should be learning. Read this verse. Watch this. Listen.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Thy what?
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Shall be given unto another people. Once again, look at the sign. Look at the picture again. We were being sold and given unto other people. This is a Bible reading that happened centuries that was brought out centuries ago, and we're talking about something that's more modern than the Bible right now. The Bible was telling the children of Israel, if this has happened to you, you are a true child of God. Read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fare with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
It said, and they shall, there should be no might in thy hand. There was nothing that we could do to stop us from going through this. There was nothing that we could do from stopping them from doing this to us. Mind you, we're reading Bible prophecy. And we're showing you that the Bible is a true book because this actually happened to the children of Israel. We're not so-called African American. We're not so-called black. We are the children of Israel from the tribe of Judah. Or from whatever tribe that you see sit. Look on this side right here. And according to your father, what would you be? Give me verse 15. Give me verse 15. Watch this. The question now is, what did we do that would cause us to go through this? What did we do to God that would cause us, for God to put us through this type of punishment? Right? We got to think about it. You don't think we did anything? Watch.
Read. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
Because you got to remember, when we left Egypt, we were living the way of the Egyptians, which means we were balding our heads, we were shaving our faces, right? We was doing these Egyptian customs because we were under the rule for over 400 years, right? So when we left there, we were still keeping some of those same customs. But Moses went to Mount Sinai and got the commandments from God, came down and was teaching the children of Israel how they should be conducting themselves and gave them new laws and new rules to abide by, right? The nation of Israel, we began to be rebellious. So God gave us a stipulation. This is what the stipulations read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice, if thou wilt not hearken,
So if we don't listen, read,
unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments,
to observe to do all his commandments, not just the 10 that they tell us that we could keep in church, right? All of his commandments. Remember, Moses was on Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. You do not need to be in the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights to only get 10 commandments. You know what I'm saying? The math is not even logical. He got over 600 laws on that mountain. Right? Read.
to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
That all these curses shall come upon us and overtake us. Right? Why? We didn't do what God said to do. I just showed you a curse. Go back to 32 again. I'm going to show you some other ones. Sis, what's your name? Say it again? Nefertiti. We had a Dionysus and a Nefertiti. Okay. Read it again.
Verse 32.
Mind you guys, is a curse a good thing or a bad thing, Rick? Rico, is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? Bad thing. Ezekiel. Sis, it's a bad thing, right? Remember, it said if we do not hearken and listen to him, he will be on these curses. Part of these curses is read.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
There should be no might in thy hand. Our children will be given to another people. This happened to us because we were hard-headed and rebellious and we didn't want to keep God's laws. It's not that we didn't do nothing, Rick. It's we didn't keep God's laws. And as the children of God, us being his children, we got punished for not listening. It's the same way as if y'all got kids or when y'all were younger, right? And you tell your kids not to do something. And you go and they do the thing that you told them not to do. Isn't there going to be a punishment? There's going to be some type of repercussion, right? Whether it's a whooping, whether it's a timeout, whether you take their games, whatever it may be. Well, God said, you be my children for not listening to me, your punishment is going to be slavery. That's the punishment that we got. But we got to realize that we did this to ourselves because of our rebelliousness. Because we want to be rebellious and not listen and be hard-headed. Now, give me verse 47 or 46.
The sign?
Yep. Yep. So that 46.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Hold on, real quick.
So I want to show you too how this applies to you. Because you said you're Native American. We read that our sons and our daughters were given away, right? That happened both to the so-called black men, but it also has happened to the Native Americans as well. So what happened was what? Give me verse 30, I want 50?
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49.
I want to show you how the so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man are not different people. They tell us that we're different, but we're not. We are the same people. The only difference is the time that the so-called black man was put in slavery and taken from the west coast of Africa and brought to America, and the times in the 1400s when the so-called Native American and Mexican was taken from this land and taken to Europe and put up and brought in Spain and different parts of Europe. That's the only difference with the times that we were taken, the times that we were in captivity. Other than that, we are the same people. The society, the world has told us that we're different. That's why when on the news they only report what's happening to the so-called black man, right? You don't hear about the numbers with the Latin community, the so-called Latin community. You don't hear about the numbers that's happening to how the Native American women are disappearing at a crazy rate. But it's happening, right? Same thing with Latino women. They can't put that together because what? We'll start figuring out, dang, this is all happening to only us. Why is it happening to only us? We'll start putting two and two together. We're not dumb people. So they have to separate the news and keep some news hidden, or we'll start to put it together like, well, if that's happening to them, and that's happening to them, and this is happening to my people, then we must be the same people. Why? I'm showing you based on the curses that we are the same people. Right? Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation,
it says, the Lord shall bring thee against the nation, or shall bring a nation against thee from the end of the earth. Right now I'm talking about the so-called Native Americans and the Hispanics, right? You have the Aztecs, the Mayas, the Incas, right? Their colonizers came from Europe, right? It says, as swift as the eagle flieth. They came from Spain. Let's get some more visuals. Because our people are visual. We got to be able to see what the Bible is talking about. What you see, read that again. I want to show you guys.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
What was that nation's tongue they couldn't understand? It was that Spaniard language, that Spanish language that they couldn't understand. It says, as swift as an eagle flieth, right? What was their? That's an eagle on the Spanish coin. This is what the Bible was prophesying about the land that was going to come from afar. What we're showing you guys is Bible prophecy that happened to only the so-called black, Native American, and Hispanic.
Bring it out.
And if you look at what's America's, it's an eagle. They tell you that they're different people, but they're not. They say, oh, well, a European is different from the so-called Spanish man, is different from the so-called Russian man. No, they're not. They're the same.
Right.
They're the same. It's like they're trying to say, oh, the black man is different from the Native American man. No, we're not. We're all the same.
Right.
Right? And what we'll show you right now in Bible prophecy is that the so-called Spanish, the Spaniards came and took and colonized the so-called Native American and Hispanic here in this land. The only way you guys speak Spanish is because you guys were brought to Spain and then spread across Spain, right? They came and conquered parts of America, which was at that time all one
Used to
place.
scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.